Hello, welcome to Evolve with Natu. My name is Natu. In this channel, we talk about a lot of things, but particularly on lifestyle, self-improvement, and self-development. A very friendly reminder, if you have not subscribed to this channel yet, kindly make sure that you do so. And make sure that you're sharing with this channel with your family and friends. And just a caveat, today's interview, or today's conversation rather, is going to be both in English and Swahili, mostly English, but also in Swahili. Thank you so much for tuning in. And today I'm delighted to have a guest that she probably doesn't know it, but I've looked up to her. I remember when one of the things that she does is she had this company that has magazines. I remember I used to ask people to buy magazines from me from Tanzania, ship them to me in Canada. I admire what she does. And for me, this is like a full cycle moment to actually have this interview with her. Emelda Mwamanga, karibu sana. Thank you so much for joining Evolve with Natu.
Thank you so much, Natu. It's a pleasure being here with you.
Thank you, thank you. So I know you through Bang Magazine and I follow you on social media. But for the people who are looking at this, who exactly is Emelda? Who is this persona who created Bang Magazine and all these amazing things that you have?
Wow, that's a good question. I wear so many hats, Natu. I am firstborn from my father and mother. We are two in our family, two sisters. I'm a mother of a daughter who's 12 years now called Gabriella. I am a woman empowerment champion. I'm a CEO and founder of Bang Magazine. Our company is called the East Africa Bang Media House. I also have another company called Realm, which we deal with human capital and logistics. I'm the president of Association of Business Women in Commerce and Industries, which was founded in India, but it's in different countries. I'm an author, so I feel good to actually say I'm an author because it was one of the things I said I wanted to do this. Of a book that called Finding My Voice. And I've published a book a year before Finding My Voice. Last year, another book called Pivoting in Heels. And also, I love creating content. So I have a talk show that is soon going to be launched. It's called Your Voice Matters. And so that's, in a nutshell, that's who I am.
So you wear a lot of hats. And for what I know you, I knew you through the magazine. I knew you through you being a mother by following you on social media. So for the people who are looking at Emelda and they're like, you know what, one day I want to be like Emelda. Tell us about your upbringing. How did you upbringing? How did you grow up? And how did it inspire you to the person that you are today?
Okay, thank you so much. I remember, I'll give you a small history. I come from a family that is very supportive. That's number one. Growing up, I was told that there's possibilities. Everything, there's a possibility. And especially I got it from my father, because whatever I wanted to do, he used to tell me that, yeah, you can do it, you can do it. So for me, something that cannot be done was not anywhere in my vocabularies or my knowing. My family is very loving and very supportive. So I remember when I was young, the first thing I can remember, I used to write stories, short stories. And my father used to buy me extra counter books because he knew that I loved writing stories. So I would watch Indian movie and change that story to Tanzania and make the story, take it to schools, and people were reading. And I was very happy to see people are booking for my books, you know. I never knew then that this would be a platform for me to become a writer or deal with publishing. But it was just a hobby, and my parents used to support my hobbies. Again, I was inspired by my uncle who used to live in Germany, but he also is a good writer. He wrote a book that was used in primary schools when he was in Form 4, I think. and he got into acting. He was a director and stuff. So when he come visit a home, he would share things that he was doing. And for me, that was a bulb in my mind. Like, I want to be like an uncle. So again, like normal, like how parents are, they would want you to be either a doctor or a lawyer, or, you know, the normal jobs that
African parents,
African
apparently
parents.
even Indian parents also are the same, or
Yeah.
minorities, as we like to call each other.
So when they saw that I was interested with, I like what my uncle was doing. My uncle was an advocate. So they told me, I think you should be a lawyer, like your uncle. You like what your uncle does. And I went to South Africa for my university. I did the BA law, but later on I realized that wasn't for me. Then I changed my field to, I majored in human resources management. Graduated, came back, got a job at Coca-Cola. And at Coca-Cola, for some reason, they asked me in HR department, I was the HR officer then, to manage the company publication, you know, for the company, for the Coca-Cola company. I didn't have any learning, or I didn't go to school for journalism or anything, but I was inspired because my passion was collecting books and magazines and stuff. So I started creating Coca-Cola magazine. Okay, what do you call it?
Is it like a editorial of some sort?
No, company newsletter.
Oh, the company newsletter. Okay.
I was trying to think, what would I say? So, okay. So I was given an assignment to create a newsletter for Coca-Cola. And then with my passion, I started creating content for Coca-Cola company, interviewing different managers, taking pictures and stuff. And that book was published in South Africa, and it was distributed in, I think, different African countries. And for me then, that was an opening, a platform for me to start Bang Magazine, because in my heart, I wanted to do what Oprah Winfrey was doing. Then All Magazine, TV shows, it was within what I wanted to do. And coming from the background that everything is possible, I was able to quit the job. I told my parents that I want to leave my day-to-day job. I want to now open a full-fledged media house. And they believed me, and they told me, they gave me the blessings. So that's how I started, and here I am.
Amen.
20 something years
Years
later.
after, because I remember reading Bang Magazine 2003.
Yes.
So that was it's been 21 years. So when you say your parents gave you blessings, was this also financial blessings? Because starting a media house is a lot of investment. How did you get started with that? Like upfront, did you save while you were in university? Did you have like?
I didn't work while I was at university, but at Coca-Cola, because I worked there for 2 years. So I was able to solicit a loan because I had a good job and they were paying me well. I saved from that, from Coca-Cola, and also now and then my father would chip in to help me when I got stuck.
Okay.
So initial investment came from my salary. You remember that time I was staying at home, so I didn't have any sort of expenses apart from putting gas in my car to go to the office. So the rest, I wasn't paying for rent or for food or anything. Then I was able to save. Interesting.
So most of us saw Bang. We saw all these famous people on Bang, but we don't know what was the story behind. Like, I now understand that you started this because you had passion to write, you had passion to showcase maybe Tanzania. How did you recruit that team to become the powerhouse that it was? And where is Bang now? Because I don't see those magazines on the stand. Exactly. And for the longest while, I used to ask people, can you bring me Bang? And then over the years, I wasn't getting those magazines anymore. So what happened?
Okay. So first of all, there was, before Bang, there wasn't anything like a lifestyle magazine. And knowing that you living in Canada, you wherever you go in supermarkets and malls, you find so many magazines for different things. So coming from South Africa, where I used to collect magazines, here it was a challenge. I didn't see any Tanzanian lifestyle magazine, and that's where I felt like I should start one for Tanzania. The publication that was there, I think, was Kitangoma, and then there was Femina. But Femina was funded to educate people about HIV/AIDS, and knowing that Tanzania has very beautiful people, beautiful women and girls, designers, creative people. I wanted to get the story from these other people, you know, and that's why Bang was born there. The people from the get-go, it was so easy to get people to share my vision because I was passionate about it. So most of my friends, whenever we sit down and talk, I would tell them about the television show that I wanted to do, the publication that I wanted to publish. And then it was easier for them to say, talk to so-and-so because they have this knowledge. Maybe this is a good designer. So I got my first team like that. And we started with no pay. It was just pure working with people who were passionate like myself, who believed in the dream. And later on, it took 3 years to actually break even. Because constantly it was investing money, and it was crazy. But I still believed, and the joy that I would get after releasing a publication and featuring stories where people come to you and say, oh my God, I got a call from America. People read about me, you know, so-and-so, maybe feature my friend and stuff like that. It was a joy for me. So 2000, and I think around 2007, we launched it in Zambia, and then we launched the magazine in Uganda and Kenya, and I started sending copies in the US, and then we grew. The magazine gave me opportunities to travel and meet with different people. But come 2015 now, it's when a lot was changing in the country. First, there was a different regime, and so most of the companies that were supporting me by placing advertisements and stuff like that, they cut down their advertising budgets. Then it hit me big time because by then I had a team of 20 people working with me. I couldn't afford anymore to pay them salaries while the magazine was coming once every 2 months. So there is a month there where we pay salaries even without releasing a publication. And to me, at that same time, I was going through my marital challenges. So it was a battle to run the business and at the same time to manage my marriage at that time with a young daughter, and I decided to take a break. So in 2015, September, we released the last edition for Bang magazine. And I wanted to now to focus in my marriage. By then I thought I was still gonna save it, you know. Things went even worse. I thought I was just gonna take a break for like a year and then come back, but it wasn't easy. So I released everybody that I was working with, and they are now very successful people doing other things, their own businesses. 2020, after my divorce, that's where I felt like, you know what, I need to find me. I need to find my passion back, and I need to bring back Bang magazine. So it was a very big struggle because now a lot has changed. Back then, people didn't have social media like what we have right now. So Bang was the highlight. People wanted to see Wema Sepetu and to see different people. But now you can see these celebrities on the social media, on YouTube and stuff like that. Again, a lot of things have moved to digital. Now we are a print publication. So again, it was another challenge for me. However, because it is my core passion, I've not killed it. We still publish Bang magazine, still out there, but it comes once every 4 months, you know, and I don't publish as many copies as it used to be. Right now, I'm circulating it at the supermarkets in town, in Dar es Salaam, Moshi, and I think Arusha. and Dodoma. So it's not as much as it used to be than everybody used to know. Yeah, we used to have subscribers before I stopped, where the magazine would come, we deliver to their offices. But when I stopped in 2015, I lost my subscribers.
You lost the subscribers.
Yeah, and so slowly I'm trying to pick myself up. Having maybe soon this year, I want to start a production. You know, I'm thinking of doing a bank TV, whereby now content that we were doing for magazine, it can now go digital and be visual. That will also maybe promote our publication. So it's a work that is an ongoing.
Well, my channel is about evolution, and it's so good to see how you've gone through. Well, the challenges that you've gone through are not good. However, the evolution, recognizing that things are not the same anymore. The paper copies are not in demand. How can we do things digitally? And you also spoke about TV. Now, I'm going to dial back a little bit. You spoke about a divorce. You spoke about having challenges. You also wrote a book that I read. I have not finished, but I read, I'd say 75%.
Wow.
What a page turner.
Thank you.
I slept at 3 a.m. in the morning yesterday trying to catch up with the book. So I highly recommend to buy it back. Before I start talking about the book, Finding My Voice. Part of the things that inspired you was your divorce and many other things. But do you mind sharing with the people who are going to read this book, how did Emelda come into to writing Finding My Voice? What was the thought process? What was going through your life? I know the divorce was one of them, but what else?
So Finding My Voice is it's transformational journey where you help people to discover themselves and to grow and find themselves their voices, which is the challenge that I battled with. Back then, before divorce, before getting married, I don't think if there was anything like fear that was ringing bell in me. I believed in everything I did, and I knew there's possibilities, and I didn't see any block to what I was doing. So visually, I would want to do something and go for it. But going through divorce, it slowed me down. It broke me. It made me feel that I was not good enough. I was lacking something. That's why even my husband betrays me. It really made me doubt myself and doubt my voice, and I lost my direction. So Finding My Voice, using my story as I wanted to inspire the women, the men out there who are going through similar challenges like I went through, but maybe different other challenges that really could take away your confidence and your voice, and you feel like, oh my God, can I ever do it again? Because I'm able to found myself, I felt there's a need to share the voice that, number one, don't keep problems or challenges on your own, because then you will be feeling timid and hiding yourself because you feel like maybe other people will find you a different person or anything. Speak about your challenges. And when you speak, you don't know who you are healing. You know, by me sharing my story, I've gotten calls from people who say, oh my God, I went through what you went through, and I didn't know if I can talk about it, but now they feel like the courage to talk about it. Others feel like, oh my God, if she went through divorce, she lost the custody of her child, but she was able to bring the magazine back and do things like that, then it's motivation for them to pick themselves up and do what they want to do. Yeah. So this is all what about Finding My Voice. In fact, when I was in the journey of divorce, one day I was so depressed. I thought I lost my mind. My father told me one day that, Emelda, take a journey, go to Dodoma. By then, my uncle was a minister and was living in Dodoma. The uncle that I told you that I like him, and I follow his footsteps. So I was driving. He gave me a driver, and I was driving to Dodoma. On my journey, I started asking myself, like speaking. I needed to find myself. I wanted to talk to God and ask God, why was I going through what I was going. I had the Bible and the diary, and as the car was going, and I see the trees, you know, when you're in the journey, you see the trees are moving.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And somewhere I just, my thinking, and it went somewhere, and now it was like numb, and I don't feel like the car is moving, but I'm very deep in thought, asking God, why did you allow me to go through what I'm going through? This is so painful. I was obedient wife, loving wife. I supported my husband, and now why? And I heard a voice telling me, Emelda, why not you? You went through what you went through because I want you to help others, you know. And I was like asking God, how can I help others if I fail to help myself? But God told me that you have a platform. Use your platform to educate, to help others, and especially on the issues of marriage. So finding my voice is the first step into talking about divorce and challenges that people are going through. But I'm thinking of being able to talk to different people. Then you would see me maybe going to different groups of women or offices or stuff to inspire them, to empower them to think beyond their troubles and challenges that they go through. But as well, I've been dreaming of having a hospital for marriage, like a place where when you go through challenges or marital challenges, it's a place where you can run to and get help. Because for me, I didn't know then when I was going through what I was going through, who do I talk to apart from my parents, which at a certain level, I felt like I'm even making them depressed because they don't want, you know, no parents.
You're burdening them with your own problems. They have their own problems.
Exactly. And no parents want to see their children going through, you know, challenges. So as they see you, you see their hearts are breaking. And I was like, no, I can't talk to them about whatever I'm going through. So I need to find a place where, whether it's for counseling or for helping them with books or talks, something like that.
It's like some sort of a therapy.
A therapy for marriage.
Okay.
Yeah.
I read the book, and I have to say, I relate to you a lot, even though I'm not married, but I relate to you a lot in terms of like feeling rejected, feeling betrayed. I couldn't help but notice that there was a lot of glaring red flags throughout. He had allegedly had a child in another country before you guys got married. Well, you guys, I think when you were dating, and then disappeared. You asked God, if he's the one for me, please show me a sign. And God went silent. That would have been sign number one. Right. Sign number two, when you guys were engaged, somebody came to you. The other woman was blocking. Yes, I'm with him. He's sleeping at my house. Wow. You had red signs glaring at you all over. But you still got married. Why? Why? Was it the societal pressure that, you know what, I'm at an age that I need to be married? Was it parents? Was it friends? Or did you love him so much? Like, why?
Darling, the one thing about love, I mean, I totally understand when someone is in love and you tell them, hey, why do you love this person? It's not good looking. Look at, you know, somebody can love a woman who doesn't have one eye, but you don't tell anything about that woman to that guy. So for me, I think love enveloped me. I saw those red flags, but I gave them excuse all along, you know, and for me God gave me chances to get out of it from the get-go. In fact, after being engaged and realized that when I left, immediately after my engagement to US, a month later I come back, I met somebody who told me, now, Emelda, congratulations for your engagement, but how come your fiancé coming to my house and seeing my home girl? And I'm like, oh my God, imagine that was God, because how coincidence would that be? But yet I felt like, and my parents wanted me to get to just return their bridal prices,
yes,
and then let
mahari
arudishe niachane na hiyo ndoa. Lakini mimi nikaanza kufikiria, that means I'm giving that other woman a chance to now get him. It's the ego, but it also it's love that I felt like, but he loved me. These are just women who wants to interfere my marriage, you know, and I gave my marriage a chance. And in the book, when you read, you know, in the first chapter, I talked about the voice that came and tell me, Emelda, if there's anything that if everything would be taken away from you, but you have a chance to remain with one thing, and what would that thing be? For me, at that point, I thought about my parents, who are very loving, very supportive, and something reminded me, your parents are getting old, so there's one day going to leave you. And I got heartbroken, but at the same time, I looked at my husband, who was there in the room with me, and I said, if he's there with me, loving me and hugging me to tell me it's okay, we are together, I'll be fine. And then I'm like, the other thought came to me, my daughter. I love her deeply, but you know, nobody can know how long. Sometimes parents bury their children, sometimes children, and we pray that children bury their parents.
Yes.
Yeah, but I was like, oh my God, if he's there, we're probably going to find another child. And then my business, I felt like if everything goes what I do, then I look up to him and I said, he's super intelligent. His business was now booming. And I said, he's going to be there to support me. And that thought went. But I didn't know that God wanted to talk to me and telling me, showing me the picture that I made him a God, you know, which is so wrong. And I really would like to urge women, girls, that they have to, number one in your life is the God who's the maker and the finisher. The God knows who you are supposed to be before you were even born. But we tend to forget when we come to life, and sometimes when we are successful with what we do, we forget that God is important. We start thinking about us or about people that we are with. But that humbled me after the divorce, because God reminded me that you picked him for everything to lose, but he's the one who leaves you, you know, and I had to repent and to now understand that God is my answer, and trust me, that has been my healing.
Wow. That was emotional, that was insightful. So as probably you and I know, our society, we uphold being in the marital institution, rightfully so. You're being praised for being married. If you're not married, I'm not married, I don't have kids. So to a certain extent, I'm looked as if I'm bad eggs. But I know people who are staying in marriages, they're being abused. They're being betrayed.
Right.
They're not getting the financial support. I read at one point you needed the financial support. Even though you had supported your spouse, he, on the other hand, when he hit that big check, he couldn't come there for you. And some people would even say, you know what? Other than love, nakaa kwa ajili ya watoto. Mama na baba wameniambia niendelee kukaa. So for the people who have reached that point, they have to get out, but you know what? They don't know how. They don't have their voice. How do you help them find their voice? How do you help them find the courage to say that, you know what? This might not just be for me, even though this is what the society expects from me. Even though natakiwa niendelee kukaa kwenye ndoa, lakini kuna maisha zaidi ya ndoa. How do they find that voice?
Okay, thank you so much, Natu. Many years ago, it was taboo once you're married to get out of marriage, because from the Bible or Quran, I think Bible mostly, I know, they didn't talk about a man breaking their own marriage. It was a broken home is because the woman is wrong, is not good enough, because is it Psalm 30, Psalm 31?
Oh, it's a Proverbs 31 woman.
Yeah, exactly. Proverbs 31. A good woman would wake up in the morning, do great things for the family. The husband would want them and stuff like that. So we are told to hold on to be strong for our marriages. And what I want to tell people now, we've seen recently a lot of people are dying because of sticking into marriages that are harmful to them. Because I think women, especially I want to talk to women, to tell them that you can measure these things. If a man beats you, treats you bad, is a womanizer, every day you find him with different issues, different women, don't stick in there for the sake of the children. You're actually going to die and leave these children suffering without a mother. So I'm not championing for people to break their marriages, but only when you find the marriage is now like a a hell place. When you go home, you feel crying, because that process, there was a time I used to drive going home, I'd stay in the car for some minutes and cry, because I knew I'm going in the home that there was no peace.
Where you didn't feel loved, where
I
you
didn't feel loved.
appreciated.
I felt like every excuse for fight or arguing, it would just be, arguments.
Trigger
It would trigger the arguments and fighting. So I used to cry a lot. So when you are in that position, you feel like this is not a place for peace anymore. First of all, seek help. Maybe counseling, places where you can go. But if you're Christian, use to go to the church, get help, spiritual help as well. But if you've done all that and you don't see any
changes,
improvements, then it's time for you to now say, hey, I think we can't be together anymore. Let's stay far, take care of our children together. I didn't know about co-parenting, if it is possible. But for me now, it was a fear before, but now we're doing very well. We co-parent. So it's possible to be out of marriage, but still be involved with your children. And especially when you don't let the things go bad. Sometimes you wait until the time that you see your spouse, you want to kill them. Don't wait until that moment comes. It's better when you still can talk, to sit down as grown-ups and say, I think the love has gone. We don't love each other anymore. I think we've tried a lot to rescue this marriage, but it doesn't work. Then peacefully, because we have children and this is a blood that connects us, let us stay far, but respecting each other and taking care of the kids. And for me, it worked. I'm sure it will work for other people. Now, for the people who are looking to find their voices, because sometimes it's easier said than done. Yeah, because at some cases where you can't even talk. If you try to bring an advice, even if it's good, if you don't find the spouse to accept that. So I believe, find solution through divorce. Sometimes it's better. And for me, my solution, my tips I used after going through divorce, I wanted to take care of myself first, my mental health. And for me, the mental health came through prayers. I found it in the Bible. I read the Word of God. I started spending time meditating through the Word of God, understanding that if Jesus Christ went through the painful journey, he was killed when he was a good man. So who am I to want to get everything good? So
to have it the easy way.
The easy way, and sometimes you can turn pain to purpose. That perhaps you're going through what you're going through because it's now you need to use the pain to be for success. It's just a matter of it's a mental thing, not understanding. Is it a lesson? Am I going through this because there's a lesson to be learned? Or am I a subject to teach other people a lesson and stuff like that? So take your problem, change it to your benefit, and once you have good people, invest in good people. Now that one helped me too.
Like good people as in friends?
Friends, people
family.
that you can trust.
Okay.
It can be people, maybe your spiritual friends that can, take you with them, pray with you through your
the difficult times.
It could be the best friends that you confide to them. It can be family. So those people who they have best interests with you, are the people you keep them close. Are the people that you can bounce ideas with them, that I'm thinking of doing this. What is your advice? What can I do? Because they have best interests. They will guide you as well to how you can, find their landing space, So for me, that's what helped me.
It helped you a lot.
Yeah. But again, the very important thing is forgiveness. I mean, you can't move on if you still hold grudges. If you hold grudge, then you can't move past your pain. You can relieve your pain every single day. But finding that it is important to forgive and truly pray about forgiveness. It's not easy, especially when somebody has done you so wrong. But try to move over past the pain and find a place consciously deciding that I'm forgiving because I want to heal me. I'm forgiving because I want to move on, you know. And then with the friends that you have, with God that you pray to, I think the journey will be easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, before we dial back to Bang, I just have one question. We're seeing quite few men and women who, some of them don't have their voices, some of them have their voices, but we also have people who haven't gotten into that institution. What recommendations would you give them to ensure that they're not ignoring those red flags? They're looking at like something looks like orange, even though is it green, is it orange? Like, what should they look for? If you had to go back and say, you know what, Emelda, what would I have done differently? Or what would you recommend, let's say, a John, an Eddie, and Amos, what should they do differently? Particularly for men, because you always focus about women, but maybe men who are looking to get married. What red flags should they not ignore? Women who are looking to get married, what red flags should they not ignore when they're getting married?
First, it's so important to keep a journal. At least you can memorize, you can remember whatever red flag you see. Maybe he lied or she lied. She said she's going to her aunt, but you realize that she was out clubbing. Note down so that because with love you tend to forgive, forget. But once you have constant, you see there's
a pattern
of things that is happening, trust it. Like, people always tell you who they are, but we tend to ignore it and try to give them what we think of them, you know, benefit of doubt. But for me, I believe that everything, like before, especially when it comes to marriage, if you've stayed with your fiancé or your partner for some time, already you would see the red flags, and you would see it in whether it's cheating, lying, in terms of loving you. Is he loving you the way you want to be loved? Because you can't say that after marriage probably he will love me more. That's the wrong thing. Yeah,
it's not going to change.
It's
what
not
he gives
gonna
you
change.
now, they usually
Take
say
it.
Women, before we get married, once we get married, we change. Men kind of stay the same throughout. So what you saw before is probably what you're going to see
afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, because I haven't got into that institution yet, but I'd admit I've ran towards red flags. I've welcomed those red flags.
You've been smart enough to say, this is not.
You know what? Not always. Sometimes I think divine intervention came through. Sometimes family, like you, I have a very supportive family, so they'll like, huyu mtu hapana.
This is not right.
Huyu mtu hapana. Wewe unapenda penda ovyo, huyu mtu So namshukuru Mungu, I had that. I also have friends, but not everybody has that. So sometimes we learn through our mistakes. Now I'm just going to dial back a little bit. I spoke passionately about Bang, but I realized I knew what Bang is, the Bang magazine. Yeah. However, a friend of mine maybe is looking from Canada and wondering, what is this magazine about? Why Bang? And what do you cover? Back then, I remember when I was reading it, this was my vision of Essence, my vision of, what's the name of that?
Ebony.
Ebony,
yeah.
Yes. So this
True
was a
Love
Tanzania
magazine.
vision. So tell us more about Essence.
About Bang.
Sorry, about Bang. Oh my God.
I love Essence. Oh my
Yes.
God. You find Essence at any time of the day in my house.
Yes.
I was inspired by Essence magazine and Ebony magazine and True Love magazine. So it's very similar. It's just that this is the Tanzanian version. So we talk about, it's a 360 content when we talk about mental health, wellness. We talk about diet, eating well, and, you know, taking care of your body. We talk about relationship tips, you know. We talk about fashion and beauty. There's profiles where we tell stories now of who's who in the city or in career-wise. There's traveling, so tips about where to go in Tanzania and things like that. There's food recipes in there. So it's a bit of everything in the magazine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle.
Okay. Now, for people who want to buy, and I just want to showcase these beautiful magazines, I believe this is Navi Kenzo and Aika.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of theirs. and I'm not sure who. I think it's
This
Tekla?
is Teddy.
Yes.
Teddy Ladislaus.
Yes,
She's one
yes.
very hardworking lady, very successful young lady. She inspired me a lot. We featured her last year. Yeah. So
if people want to read these magazines, and most importantly, because I have read this book, I haven't finished it. If they want to find this book and they want to find these magazines, where can they find them?
okay, first, I would like people to follow me on my social media because I put advertising a lot about places where you can find magazine. You can find them in supermarkets. I don't export out of the country. I'm distributing now in mainly Dar es Salaam, Arusha, Dodoma, and Moshi. I've reduced the number, so we are now doing a few cities first, and it's in the supermarkets, Shoppers, Mac bookstore, elite bookstores, and street vendors. Sometimes you find them having. The book, I'm distributing it only in Dar es Salaam, but it's also on Amazon. You can find it on Amazon. I have friends in Germany and US who have already bought it. Yeah, but it's found in Dar es Salaam at, you can visit my Instagram and you see the advert where you can buy in bookstores.
I'll also make sure that I have Emelda's Instagram page on the YouTube channel at the description of the YouTube channel.
Apart from the Bang magazine,
yes,
I'm publishing Fahari magazine. This is a Commonwealth Businesswomen Africa publication. This is the first edition, and I'm their media and HR person. So in terms of media, we've created the content of the magazine, and maybe we're going to do much more in the media space. Awesome. And then there is consumer choice. There's Consumer Choice Award in Tanzania. It's one of the very big events.
Okay.
So last year I spoke to Diana, who is the organizer, in having the publication for Consumer Choice. Okay. So exactly, we're featuring all the companies that are winning awards. We do interviews and stuff like that. Okay. So on the space of magazine, I'm loving magazine, and I love to create content. I'm free to, not free, but I'm available to work with you. If you want to publish a magazine, contact me. I can either be a consultant, or we can take the job and help you to publish a magazine for you, for a company, for different people. Yeah, so it's not only Bang that I'm dealing with.
You also have I'm glad you brought the other magazines, because I knew Bang. I think I also read about Fahari, but I didn't remember to mention it.
Yeah.
Last but not least, before we go to the rapid fire questions, what's your next chapter now? And I'm asking this question to also inspire people who are living post-divorce, are living post a major life shift. Your life has adjusted significantly. You talked about losing custody for your daughter, somebody that you love dearly. How is co-parenting working for somebody who's maybe going through this process and they're wondering, oh my God, how am I going to co-parent with my either ex-husband and ex-wife? And most importantly, career-wise, how do I adjust myself, whether you have a business, whether you have a job, now that maybe you're sole breadwinner, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how do you navigate those things, and what's in it most importantly for you? How are things moving forward? What do you aspire for yourself now that you're in this new chapter, this new arena?
Okay, number one, you need to accept what your life, like after accepting the divorce, now that we are divorced, and now I've made peace with it. I'm fine. I'm happy for my ex-husband. It was easier for communication. Now we are good parenting to our parents to our daughter. I'm able to do most of what I do because of the partnership that is still there. That, for the week, during the week, my daughter stays with the dad, so I have plenty of time to do what I want to do. Weekends, I'm full-time mom. My daughter is with me, and especially when the school closes, then we travel together and things like that. So number one is to accept whatever tragedy, trial, problems that you've gone through, and then finding yourself as well, your passion, your career. It's easier to bounce back when you forgive and you accept now your next move. So I try to balance because I have now during the week I have enough time to work on my content developing, but to work with my logistic business, my company. But also I'm able to write books and work with magazine. It's been quite a good balancing journey. I work well now during the week because I can work I can sleep at 4 in the morning. I don't have to,
worry about waking up in the
to
morning.
worry about taking my daughter to school the next day or stuff like that.
Because somebody else.
Yeah.
Now, nilisema hili ni swali la mwisho, but I have one more. How's your relationship like with your husband? I believe is now married.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a great, is it like a good one, happy family, kumbaya? Or is that maybe something you're going to aspire to? For people who are like, you know what? Someday I like me and maybe my ex-husband and his wife, for us to be like one big happy family, or me and my ex-wife and her new husband. Is that the relationship that the two of you have, or is that something that maybe you're aspiring for the future? Ama huo mlango umefungwa. You're like, you know what?
No, mlango hujafungwa. So I'm hoping in the future we will get to that point.
But you're not there yet.
I'm not there yet because of a child. I'm very happy with my daughter upbringing right now. I believe she's happy with stepmom, and I haven't heard any complaints from her.
That's good.
And she's doing pretty well at school, so I'm very happy. And because of that, I believe there is going to be a very good relationship with that family and myself because I'm seeing my daughter is happy. The rest of the things, it's us, it's people, it's mental, it's issues that we create ourselves. But when you want to put peace, to be in peace, not to cause harm, I believe then the journey is smooth. Especially when you decide, it's not easy. It's not easy, especially wake wengine unakuta wanaingia kwenye ndoa alafu wanataka tu kukukwaza. Kwamba wewe umeshindwa, mimi nitaweza na vitu kama hivyo. Na kuprove wrong. That's the challenge. But when your husband is married into a woman who does not have to rub it into your face, then it's easier for the communication. For us right now, we communicate about the daughter, and it's a very good communication. If he travels, he let me know that he's traveling. He brings the child to my house. I take my daughter to school. So it's easy.
It's easy.
Yeah.
Will you get married again?
Oh, hell yes.
Okay, good. So you still believe in love?
I believe in love. I believe in love. Now at least I'm gonna go into it with my eyes open. I'm going to use my brain and my heart, not my heart only.
Oh, your brain also.
Your brain has to be part of it.
And also God.
And also God, definitely.
Yes. Do not ignore him, because the last time he was showing you signs, but ulikuwa huzisikilizi.
Nilikuwa sisikilizi.
Yes. Now we'll get into the rapid fire questions before we wrap up. If you had to have a dinner with a person that you look up to. Yes. Pole. Imejaa tena. You know what? Hearing all these wonderful answers and you being candid, it feels like I've also found my own voice. It's been a wonderful interview, but before we go, I think we're going to do rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Yes, so let's get started. You are one of the people that I think a celebrity in my eyes, and I'm so delighted to see you. However, I also like to think that there are people who are celebrity. I remember in your book you spoke about how it was meeting Oprah. Speaking of celebrities and people that you look up to, which person that you look up to, dead or alive, that you would love to have dinner with, and why?
Wow. There are a couple, but let me think of one person that I would be so delighted to meet. Her name is Mo Abdu. She's Nigerian, based in Nigeria and London, I think. She is a woman. She founded Ebony Life TV. I think you can watch Ebony Life TV on DSTV. But she's a woman behind movie. She creates movies, very, very good stories. I look at her like I see Oprah in her, but I see the other American guy who creates a lot of movies, Madia.
Oh, Tyler Perry.
Tyra Perry.
Okay.
I see Tyra Perry in her.
Okay.
You know, and she's being an African lady doing all these great things. Recently, she's partnering with big production films in the U.S. I've seen she's working very closely with my famous movie actor. I forget his name, but he was one of my gorgeous movie actor that I like to see.
It's not Denzel Washington?
Not Denzel.
Okay.
The other one, the British one.
Oh, Idris Elba?
Idris Elba. Oh my God.
You know, Idris Elba's wife now even says when he posts her husband, he's like, our husband, because he knows
It's
there's
like
a lot of us who have a crush on him.
And he married to an African woman, so
Yes.
it feels like he married to a sister. So I love Idris Elba, and he's working closely with Mo Abdul.
Okay.
Yeah, right now. So I love to meet Mo Abdul because of what she does. I see myself in future getting there because I'm passionate on what she does.
Well, you know what? I haven't met Mo Abdul, but hopefully when I meet her, I'm like, can you please have dinner with Emelda? I at least had a chance to meet you and have a conversation with you. Last but not least. I've been saying last but not least, but you're very interesting. I can feel like I can have this conversation with you every day.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're going to be celebrating your birthday on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
In the spirit of finding yourself, how are you planning to celebrate your birthday?
Well, first of all, for the past 4 years, I've been celebrating my birthday in the U.S. I meet new people and family, and it's been wonderful. But this year, I'm going to be here. So we have planned to go spend a day at a Hyatt hotel.
Nice.
Me and my few friends and my daughter, and my friend also has children. So I think we might spend the night, but from the morning, we're going to swim, we're going to cut the cake, we're going to change clothes, to have dinner there. So that's a little highlight that I have. But a day before that, I'll spend time with my parents.
Good
you
stuff.
know. So I'll cut the cake on Saturday, and I'll cut the cake on Sunday.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like an upcoming event that's going to be fun. Emelda, it's been a treat. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so, so much. I hope this is not the last that I'm going to see with of you. And happy birthday in advance.
Thank
I
you
love
so
birthdays, and I'm so happy that you're going to be
You're going to be in the town?
Maybe, maybe not.
When are you going to Morogoro?
Probably Sunday. But if
Oh,
I'm here...
If you're here, please, you're welcome.
I was going to crash.
Please crash, and I'll be so happy to have you. It's been wonderful to talk to you. You've made it easier.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, viewers, as you can see, the gorgeous Emelda Mwamanga, she's somebody, as I said, I've always looked up to, and I'm so glad that she's here. She's able to share her voice. Make sure that you follow her on her Instagram page. I'll share the Instagram page on this link on the YouTube channel. I'll also share where you can find her book. Until next time, thank you so much for tuning in, and have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.